You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon House.
Massive human trafficking. A record 288 people arrested.
They're not reporting the real numbers.
The numbers are segmented and they are fictitious.
I started my career in 1997 in the United States Border Patrol. It was one of the most violent times in recent Border Patrol history. I made my bones and my reputation on that border. I believe what is happening on the border today is intentional.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them.
Our own government is facilitating the absolute destruction of the American immigration system, and I can prove it point by point. I'm unafraid to speak the truth. This is just data-driven and experience-driven.
ICE is bro, I swear to God. I swear to God. They going crazy. No. Ah, they go. They is out of here. Oh my God, bro. What the?
Police are now pepper spraying. They're throwing stuff out here in the streets. They're blocking ICE, blocking the FBI from coming through.
So I'm down in Sarasota, Florida right now, fixing to load some watermelons at this watermelon farm. And I got the old girl here getting ready to go to work, but I want y'all to look at this. Both of these trucks right here, neither of those drivers speak a lick of English. I tried to ask them, hey, where do you check in at? They couldn't even understand what I was saying, nor could they articulate to me anything in English. I go to the warehouse here and ask, where do you check in at? They don't understand either. They don't speak English either. This is what's happening, man. It's a real life example of it. I deal with this almost every single day.
And this should shock no one. So the report came out. It said right now in the United States of America, at one of our universities, there is an organized, orchestrated spy ring. To put this in perspective, when I got here, I said, when I was told that there was a Chinese law in place that required Chinese nationals, including students that come to the United States on visas, and by the way, we take 300,000 Chinese students a year into our universities, there's a law in the books that says they have to provide intelligence gathering and information to the CCP. We also had information in Congress before I even got here that they were setting up these programs to organize spies and push them into our universities using visas. And when I got here and realized that there was no law stopping the visa program, even though we had that information, I immediately launched a bill that would end visas for Chinese students. Now, nothing against Chinese students that want to learn, but if you have a government that is enlisting them, and not just enlisting them, requiring them by law under penalty to be espionage agents when they get here, we cannot keep inviting them into our nation. And so time after time over the last few years, we have found Chinese students with drones, cameras on our military bases, stealing information at our universities, and nothing has been done. So when this report came out 2 days ago, I was not surprised, because we launched this bill and we've been advocating and trying to get someone's attention that there were spy rings here right now. Now, hopefully, we will see some action not only by the university that's been informed of this, where their students saying it's happening, but by the government to do an investigation.
GOP lawmakers have defended some of their budget bills, Medicaid reforms, by highlighting preliminary CBO projections of roughly 1.4 million illegal immigrants losing their coverage under state-funded health programs. Is reducing federal Medicaid payments to states that provide coverage to undocumented immigrants a reform that you would support?
The bottom line is this overall bill is so awful. If they want to aim, if they got some specific issues, aim it. Don't just do a meat axe or a chainsaw across the board and cut everything. I don't know if their numbers are accurate. These are GOP numbers, but it doesn't matter.
Now that happened just about exactly an hour ago. The faces of the men and women being put into a total of 2 vans have been blurred because we don't know whether they face any charges. This all started with concerns that people were being detained after reporting to the Intensive Supervision Appearance Program Office, also known as ISAP, right here at 2254 South Michigan Avenue. ISAP is a system used in Chicago and across the country to monitor individuals released from ICE custody while they await immigration court proceedings. I'm told by immigrant advocates that people received texts this week from ISAP to report to the office, and instead of it being a routine check-in where they would leave afterwards, they were detained soon after ICE agents arrived, as did a few aldermen. At one point, 35th Ward Alderman Anthony Cazada and 33 Ward Alderwoman Rosanna Rodriguez Sanchez sat on the ground blocking an ICE van from pulling into a lot next door to the ISAP office. After more ICE agents arrived, the angry crowd shouting shame as more than a dozen people were brought outside and put into the vans.
Let's say that you learn that ICE is planning to stop immigrants outside your hospitals for possible roundups. Would you warn them? And how would you handle this situation? You have a minute.
You know, it's work that I'm already doing as Speaker of the City Council. So I've already stepped up in leadership to do this. I've had a target on me because I refuse to erode our sanctuary city laws, and I have refused to do this. My mission is and will be when I am mayor is to protect the immigrants of the city of New York. New York is a city made up of immigrants. So it is our responsibility to make sure that all New Yorkers, our old New Yorkers and our newer New Yorkers, feel safe in this city. As mayor, I will not kowtow to Donald Trump.
But would you warn them that they're...
I will absolutely use my bully pulpit as the mayor to warn, as I am doing as city council speaker pretty much on a daily basis. The work that I am currently doing as speaker, I will expand as the mayor of the city of New York. Donald Trump will know that New York will remain a sanctuary city.
Welcome to Truth with JJ Carrell. Listen, I played that montage because it encompasses everything that we have been discussing. Let's just go down the list. You have Chuck Schumer being told there's 1.4 million illegal aliens on Medicare, and his response is, we're not going to take a meat axe. So just keep paying 1.4 million. And I think that's a gross. Let's be clear here as a Democrats, let's be clear. It's not 1.4 million. Come on. Let's all get into the realm of reality. But let's just say it's 1.4. So we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars a month to medicate illegal aliens, billions of dollars a year. Let me just tell you how grotesquely a lie that is 1.4. And I know people are going to say, well, it's Medi-Cal, meaning in California, or Medicare. I understand, right? But I'm saying right now, California last year spent $9.7 billion on illegal aliens in Medi-Cal, in combination Medicare. So to say that it's just 1.4 million illegal aliens on Medicare is absolutely absurdity. However, let's play the game that the government's telling us the truth like they've always done, right? They always tell us the truth. Chuck Schumer's response is, no big deal. We'll just keep paying for illegal aliens, healthcare, while we have a $36 to $37 trillion deficit. Then let's talk about the woman that's the Congresswoman Ashley is talking about Chinese nationals. Why would we continually allow 300,000 Chinese national students to come into our country and then take our intellectual property, be an espionage, and send it back to the CCP? And no one's done anything about it. Why? Because they're all involved. They're all taking payoffs. Look at the last First Family. The last First Family made millions of dollars on payoffs from the CCP. Joe Biden. I told my audience for a long, long time, I've written books about this. We are going to see blood on the streets. We are going to see absolute violence that we have never seen before in America while we round up and arrest illegal aliens. Let me ask you this. When's the last time that you saw armored vehicles with ICE agents or police officers on the running boards going down America? Come on, I want to hear it. When? You know what it looks like? You know what it reminds me of? Being down on the border in San Diego and looking on over to the other side of Tijuana and seeing the federales hanging on the side of armored vehicles and trucks going up and down the roadways with their faces covered because they fear the cartels. Why do our ICE agents have their faces covered? Because they fear our own government. They fear our own citizens. This is going to come to a head. You think this is just going to kind of fizzle out over the summer? Are you insane? This is going to explode. I said, and I've written about this, and as I wrote and as I report on this, I say that I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I am absolutely 100% wrong. But you're about to see deaths, law enforcement deaths on the street. Why? Because no one's being punished for pushing, punching, throwing stuff at ICE officers and police officers. So what will they do? And it's not having the effect they want. So what do they have to do? They have to ramp it up. They have to. This is law enforcement 101. This is criminality 101. Anyone that has a half a brain can look at this situation and go, okay, we need to prepare for worst case scenarios because that worst case scenario is going to happen. I listen to who I think is, he's awesome. Stephen Miller, senior White House counsel to Trump, wears many hats, staunch illegal alien deportation guy from not just for the last decade, for decades. I saw him on Charlie Kirk. He made a statement that even made me go, whoa, I didn't know that. Do you know that there are less than 6,000 ICE officers in America? I knew that. There's less than 6,000 to arrest 50 million people. Go ahead and do the math on that real quick. What he did say to me that I did not know, it's interesting, it's a reminder to me that I don't know everything and I need to constantly learn. Stephen Miller taught me something today when I listened to his interview on Charlie Kirk. Do you know that ICE was created, excuse me, and I know that ICE was created after 9/11. Excuse me, 9/11. Do you know that in 20 years, 20 plus years, ICE has not increased their manpower by one agent? Has the post office increased their manpower? Has IRS, DEA, ATF, DHS? Did they decrease or increase? FBI, they exponentially increased. So our ICE officers, and I will say this about Border Patrol, we are at the height of 21,000 and change. This was in the middle 2010s. We're down to under 15,000. So as the illegal alien population more than doubled in 4 years, your ICE agent stayed the same. There's no funding. Why was Stephen Miller on Charlie Kirk? He was pushing the big, beautiful bill, and he laid out some incredible talking points. And what was shocking to me, and continues to shock me, is there is no funding currently for Tom Homan and his deportation crew. He doesn't have enough manpower. He doesn't have enough planes. He doesn't have enough money, enough bed spaces. How is that possible? Let's just walk through this. As a guy that used to do this for my living, where I know exactly how this works. Joe Biden was able to stand up and build tents, giant FEMA camps for kids. And yet we can't build the same thing in reverse. Why? Why can't we? I want an answer to that. Why? Because we don't have the willpower. We don't have the want. Our Republican leaders have no desire to do this. None. If we stay at this pace of arrest and deportation, it will take us over 100 years. And let me be clear to my audience so you're always on the tip of the spear as far as knowledge goes. The amount of illegal aliens in America is not 10, it's not 20, it's not 30, it's 50 million. Per the DHS/federal government has admitted to over 40 million. We're just splitting hairs here. We hear things as, well, there's 22 million people in America. Charlie Kirk said that in that interview, and I was just like, dang, Charlie Kirk, you have access to everything I do. How do you not know this? Why? It was 20 plus million in 4 years. Am I supposed to believe Charlie Kirk and everyone else in the conservative movement that there were zero illegal aliens in America prior to Joe Biden taking office? Are you really going to go there? Are you really going to have that argument with me? It was agreed upon those 22 million illegal aliens in 2019. And now we're talking about we have 20 plus million in America. Joe Biden admitted to 18 million crossing and being released into America. I just saw a senator from Kansas wrote an op-ed piece in Breitbart. I thought I was going to vomit. This moron, this senator moron, writing a commentary in Breitbart, said, well, you know, in the 4 years we had 1.7 million illegal aliens cross the border under Joe Biden. It's like, God, how are you that stupid? You can't be that stupid. Therefore, you must be corrupt and compromised. That's the only look. When you're in law enforcement, it's very, very black and white, and I'm a very black and white guy. You either are making a mistake out of ignorance, stupidity, just willful ignorance, or you're complicit. There's no in between for me. There isn't, and there's really those are the only choices. And you hear the leaders, the new supposed mayor of New York, the city councilman in Chicago, and on and on and on and on, city councilmen in San Diego, Tucson, sit-ins, obstructing justice. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Before I bring in a dose of optimism every Thursday, but I had to ask her to come on Friday, is I want to talk about Bella Grace. Shop bellagrace.com/truth. You need to be prepared for this fight. And if you just want to be healthy, right? No one wants to wake up with inflammation and hurt and aches and pains and your immune system is shot. No one wants that. One way that I stop that, because my mind goes 100 miles an hour, I'm not getting the right amount of sleep, I'm all over the place some days, is I take Bella Grace the elixir. Play this commercial, please, for shopbellagrace.com/truth.
As a practitioner with a very large practice, at the very end of the day, I tended to be a little bit worn out. I wasn't covering from taking care of patients. In January, before we pre-launched the company, I was one of the very first people to get the 15-day samples. And right away, I was connected to the Bella Grace Collagen Elixir. Just an overall feeling of wellness, but also a little more energy. I recovered in my workouts, sleeping just more soundly, and then waking up the next day ready to take it on. For me, it was the power of three: the cat's claw, the astaxanthin, and of course, the best, most studied Verisol collagen on the market today.
shopbellagrace.com/truth. Why do I use it? One more time, I will tell you. And Dr. Lucky was on my show for an hour interview talking about the adverse effects of inflammation. And it's true. It is the precursor, or it is the leading cause of all of our ailments is inflammation. Go to bellagrace.com/truth. Shop Bella Grace. All right, I need a dose of it's been a long week. So I need some hope, and there's only one person that can really give that to me, and that is Kim Yater. Kim, how you doing this week?
Wow, so encouraged by your intros all the time. If I can bring the hope, by golly, Father, fill me. That's what I've got to say. I'm great, JJ. How are you?
I'm doing good. Let's talk before we get into this immigration, and because I think it's all tied. Everything, Kim, is all tied together. But I want to ask you, what's your thoughts on this massive fight between Donald Trump and Elon Musk?
Oh man, I'm telling you, what a show. Take out the popcorn. And that is not for the cute people. Okay. This is for all of us right now. Everything is optics. Everything is optics. Everything is optics. There is work happening behind the scenes. And I can't tell you what that work is exactly, but all I can tell you is their goal is to move the people in a direction the herds are following. That's all I can say.
You really think it's a long game? You believe that?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Really?
I think it's a long game. It's show. I don't have to ever read another thing. In my gut of guts, I can see through it. And listen, I could be completely wrong, but in my gut, like God gives us that Holy Spirit. In my gut, it says, you know what? This is optics. This is optics. Nothing is as it seems. Go back to Shakespeare. All of life is a stage. Man is but the simple player. We are allowing ourselves to be the player. So I think it's so important that one, we're drawing close to God, because God is going to give us that wisdom and discernment. So that is where our hope truly will come from in these times, when the goal is to throw us into confusion, right? Then there's going to be a savior coming our way. It's the way they've got it planned, JJ.
I hope you're right. My natural instinct is, I don't believe in the long game. I just don't. It's too many moving parts. I think Donald Trump is more from point A to point B, but I could be wrong. And I hope I am wrong. I'm hoping they just, laugh in our faces, not really ours, but the left's laugh in their faces when this is all done and just say, but Kim, I wanted to stay on this topic of illegal immigration because it ties to everything. You live in San Diego area. You have massive problems, as you know as well as I do. I lived it. I worked it, that area. There's barrios. People call them ghettos. In San Diego, we call them barrios. And they're not as bad as ghettos, would you say, but they are, because they're more sprawling. There's no high-rise ghettos, but the barrios are just crime-ridden. And the way I talked about it before, Kim, is the barrios in San Diego are just an extension of Tijuana. Would you agree with that?
I would 100% agree with that, JJ. And I'll just tell you, in the nicest of communities in the San Ysidro, Chula Vista area, Carrell buys out houses. Are you kidding me? If we're following Operation Clean Sweep with Assistant Chief Sean Taylor, Operation Clean Sweep 1, 2, and 3 that you can find at Take Your Power Back Show, everything we're about to talk about today connects all the dots. So these cartels buy out these homes, right? And I mean, this is where they do business in the nicest areas of Chula Vista as well. And this is where your police find dead bodies. I mean, that's the stuff that's hidden from the public that the public doesn't know. But yes, San Ysidro is pretty bad off right now. And I will tell you that there are people that I know that have friends that are illegal immigrants from Venezuela that are, the guys coming over for asylum because they don't want to live in the city. And some of them live in that country, and some of them have taken 6 years to come to the country. I mean, this is truly a humanitarian crisis. It is so sad. But, here we are, these sentimental Americans. We love people. We want to help people. But there's a protocol in place, legal immigration they've got to go through the process. And I know it's a tough one right now, but San Diego is pretty bad off, and ICE is coming in. The military is here right now. The Marines are here, and there's actions being taken. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I don't think that the punch is strong enough. Meaning, if you need 100 ICE officers and 100 military, you need to have 1,000 on there.
Oh, yeah.
1,000, and then every single person that touches a law enforcement officer or physically touches a military, they're instantly arrested, instantly, and then thrown in jail. And we're going to throw a felony charge on you, and we're going to make your life absolutely miserable, and it will stop. But if you don't do it, they're going to keep coming at us. But this 100%. Is all. You want to talk about a show? You want to talk about a play? This is the play. Was what Joe Biden did to America and the lies that they told us. And I'm going to play a clip of one of the dumbest people in Congress, which says a lot, and is Hakeem Jeffries. But I want you to listen to this idiot. And the problem with people like Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats is they lie so much they can't remember what they've said. So this is just a small clip on Hakeem Jeffries talking about the bringing of illegal aliens to America. It's unbelievable. Go ahead, Caleb.
One of the main reasons that we lost the 2024 election was that we let millions of people stream across the border. So what is the Democratic plan to show people that we're serious about this problem?
We were slow to act as an administration and as a party on the southern border crisis, and it hurt us not simply with traditional Republican voters or swing voters, but in some segments of our own base communities and in communities of color, including right here in New York.
There is no crisis at our southern border.
Well, based on my visit to the border, what I have seen is that some of the steps that President Biden and the administration have taken over the last few months have certainly reduced the flow of illegal border crossing. I think the Biden administration is doing all that it can. In that they inherited a broken system that needs to be fixed moving forward in a bipartisan way through comprehensive immigration reform and leaning in to strengthening the border.
There is no crisis at our southern border.
We are all actors in this play, Kim.
That's right. Liar, liar, pants on fire. What do you expect from somebody who is a litigator for CBS, for Viacom, who went to Georgetown and in one of his big papers was supporting Louis Farrakhan? What do you expect?
I expect exactly what that is, and that is a theft of our sovereignty. But you know what's crazy, Kim, is I could actually sit here. I have two more clips to play, and they're both Democrat mayors. But I could easily play and change out the Democrats and put Republicans in there. The Republicans did nothing for 4 years, did Joe Biden. And now we have a president that's trying to do the right thing. And Kim, we can't get the funding. Those jackasses in the House will not fund the deportations. This is Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell in 2016 all over again, Kim. It is.
Yeah, what? And the question is why? This is what the American people need to ask themselves. Why are they not funding the protection of our nation right now? And why are they funding the Ukraine? Like, we've got to really look at that. What are they hiding? Who are they protecting? What are they protecting? You got to dig deep, America, because these guys are liars, pants on fire.
And they're traitors. And here's a traitor I want to show you, because before I play this is the mayor, Freddie O'Connell from actually it's a gentleman talking about going to go after Freddie O'Connell, the mayor of Nashville, because ICE agents have been assaulted at a over 400% increase in the last 4 months since Donald Trump has taken office. This is unbelievable. Please play this, Caleb.
Well, you've heard it. The individuals that the mayor is standing with are murderers, rapists, drug traffickers, sexual predators, child traffickers. The list goes on. Which is why I will always stand on the rule of law and with ICE. And I don't just stand with ICE, I'll stand in front of ICE. Because we, the people, have had enough. I choose my community, my state, and my family over this type of nonsense, which is why due to the remarks of Freddie O'Connell and the potential for aiding and abetting illegal immigration. The Homeland Security and the Judiciary Committees will be conducting an investigation into the mayor of Nashville, his conduct, and whether or not federal dollars have been used in criminal enterprise. I will not back down. I will not relent, and I will always stand with law enforcement. I want my community and I want my country back. This is Andy Ogles. Thank you for being here.
What do you think about that strong language from that congressman?
Okay. Thank you for the strong language. Thank you. Thank you for taking a stand. But let's really take a look. This is all optics. I'm going to tell you why. It's a funny thing. The Speaker of the House of Tennessee is publicly calling out the mayor. Okay. He's calling out the mayor of Tennessee, but in private, he's supporting the mayor. Okay. So you tell people what they want to hear to move them in a direction. People have got to watch, JG, when we took on Operation Clean Sweep 1, 2, and 3 with Assistant Chief Sean Taylor, who was originally brought in by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation to expose the corruption. Well, he went way too deep. They seized his information. They, I hate to use this word, but they pissed in his tub and left a trail out the door. And this is the 16-year murder board connecting all the dots across the country, tentacles to the Ukraine, Canada, BRICS nations, and China, exposing the election fraud, the voter fraud, the mortgage fraud, Act Blue, how they're paying off the elected officials with the money coming in from the mortgage fraud. And what is this feeding? The illegal immigration. What is it feeding? The trafficking, the fentanyl crisis. This is why we take our border back. We said, you know what? We got to take a stand. If we, the people, we, the little guys, don't stand in the gap and start speaking up, we will lose this country.
When you begin and you're laid out exactly what's happening, the mortgage, they're using mortgage fraud as the way to funnel money as well as to the NGOs. Sometimes, Kim, and you and I talked about this, sometimes it is overwhelming when you look at the level and depth of fraud and corruption and treason that's happening in our country. We live in a third world cesspool now. The people the difference is we're not running around in sub-Sahara Africa or in the jungles of Latin America. We're here in, quote, the shiny city on the hill with our nice suits, and then we're talking very clear language, and we're pounding the desk, and we're going to write a bill, and I'm going to send you a letter, right? The strongly worded letter. I want to see some action, and I don't see any or not enough. Here's another one, and I want to play this last one for you, Kim, just to drive this home. This is Mayor Wu of Boston. She is a hardcore racist.
My hometown, Boston. Come on.
Yeah. She is a hardcore racist. And listen to what she calls ICE agents. Go ahead and play this, Kayla, please.
I don't know of any police department that routinely wears masks. We know that there are other groups that routinely wear masks. NSC 131 routinely wears masks.
Mayor, just to clarify, are you comparing ICE, you said, to NSC 131, the neo-Nazi group? Are you comparing them to a neo-Nazi group?
What I said is that Boston Police and no police department that I know of at the local level routinely wears masks.
She just called us ICE, and I throw, when I say us, I mean ICE and Border Patrol. We're different, but we're the same. We work together. We're side-by-side brothers. My good friends are ICE supervisors and ICE officers. She just called us neo-Nazis. Yeah. Where does this, Kim, maybe the question I have to ask for, and I put this in my monologue, is we're not going to go backwards. The rhetoric and the violence and the hatred and the vitriol is not going to subside. I believe it's going to increase into extreme violence. Do you agree with that statement or not?
100%, 100% yes. Here's the deal. They are pushing a rhetoric. They're pushing the narrative. They're keeping people in a victim mentality. I had people sending me texts like crazy yesterday. And these are friends that are connected to, illegal immigrants, that they just know these people being in the workplace. And they're texting me all these videos which are feeding this victim mentality, right? And we, the people, the Americans, gosh, we got to stop being the sheep. We need to do our deeper digging, and we need to ask, what is it that they're trying to do? What, JJ, I'll just tell you, I'm kind of beside myself because they've been doing this for quite some time. And I think you said it, it's not going to change. It's going to get worse, and it's going to lead to violence in the street. It's going to feed the whole Palestinian movement that's already started. It's going to be ugly if we do not nip it in the bud and deal with it like radically.
We have to take our power back, and that's your show title,
Yes.
which I love it. TakeYourPowerBackShow.com. You can follow Kim Yater there. And then, Kim, one thing that we always talk about, because we are both have sponsorships through this company called PatriotsMade.com, and it's American-made products, made in America for Americans. And this is one way to take our power back instead of giving it to our money to the big box stores, who then in turn give their profits, part of their profits, to the Democrat Party, BLM, Planned Parenthood, defund the police. I mean, I can go on, but we're funding it. And the one way we can take our power back is to go shop at Patriots Made. Can you give us a good, strong pitch as to why? Why should we? And before you start, too, I want my audience to know, say thank you, because my audience every single day, I get the notifications. Hey, Mary Jane, Bob from Nebraska, Susie from New Jersey has now signed up for Patriots Made. And I'm like, wow, this is really catching on fire. So we are reaching people. We are making a difference one person at a time.
Yeah, it's so incredible because, we get all these calls and all these texts of the results that people are getting. I mean, when you're dealing with things like the pharmaceutical companies are feeding like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, allergies, eczema. Man, we have been suckered into the narrative that the big box retailers are where we buy our products, the Johnson & Johnson, the Colgate and Palmolive, the Unilevers, when those products have the ingredients that are causing the problem. The parabens, the alcohols, the sulfates, the triclosan, I mean, formaldehyde. Think about it, JJ. Dawn dish soap, dryer sheets, laundry detergents, the things you use every day. What's in your toothpaste? Do you really want to know what's in your soap? Animal fat and chemicals. So here's the coolest thing, is that we don't need to be suckers and sheep and buy into the narrative. We, the people, can take our power back by locking arms and partnering with patriots like you and me, JJ, with patriots like our American-made, Patriot-made manufacturer. They've been doing it 40 years. They are excellent at what they do, making over 450 products that are just better, safer, and the best of science and nature. So what do people get? They get results. They don't need to be fed into the pharmaceutical industry with dis-ease that's created by the heavy metals in all those products. This is why Maha's standing up, and we're standing beside Make America Healthy Again with patriotsmade.com/JJ. So JJ, when you and I get the results personally in our own families, and you and I talk about that, it's like, how can we not share it, right? When we know it works and we know we're helping the American people. And here's the coolest thing. We're helping a lot of these families put money back in their pockets. We're not supporting Jeff Bezos anymore or the Wally family, but we're supporting farmers, ranchers, patriots, ministries, and feeding American families. That's taking our power back. So let's go to patriotsmade.com/JJ. Our team of experts, JJ, we're ready. We're ready. Come on, guys. We will tailor it to your needs.
Kim Yater always gives some optimism to a man that is a stone cold realist. So thank you very much, and give me some hope as I go into my weekend. Follow Kim Yater at her show, TakeYourPowerBackShow.com. Kim, always great to have you on. Have a great weekend. And thank you.
Love you, JJ. Thank you.
All right.
And thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Kim Yater. I could, it's always those people that you talk to that you're like, I need to give them a call. They'll lift me up. That's Kim. Even in times where you're like, Kim, I can't believe what's going on. This is just an abomination, especially when Kim and I would talk when we first met, talking about the border under Joe Biden. It was so suffocatingly evil. And she was just like, nope, keep fighting. It's going to change. Keep fighting. It's going to change. Strong lady.
great personality, great patriot. Follow her at Kim Yater, takeyourpowerbackshow.com. Well, I want to touch on this before I bring in Chris from SAT123 here in a little bit, is the big story. And Kim and I talked about it a little bit, and that's the Elon Musk versus Donald Trump. Can you pull this first? I'm just going to show you a bunch of tweets. They were just, I couldn't show them all because it was just going off the chart. But this is how it started. And Elon Musk, I'm the biggest Donald Trump fan, and Elon Musk will lose against Donald Trump. He will lose. However, Elon Musk, as well as Donald Trump, has some amazing points. And this is the first one that Elon Musk said. I'm going to read off my phone. This is the first tweet. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. And that set off an absolute firestorm. And we go to the next one. Caleb, can you pull up the next one? And this is what Donald Trump fires back. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted. He knew for months I was going to do it. And he just went crazy. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. Whoa. Whoa. And then Elon responds again, back and forth, with, if you could pull this one up, he states, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Whoa. And I'm sitting here in real time watching this, and and then I see this video. And can you play this video of, it's both of them sitting together, but listen to what Elon Musk talking about. And this is what's making, I mean, there could be a million things, but this is what I think is driving Elon Musk, is he like Trump in 2016, Elon Musk knew that there was corruption. He knew that there was graft. He knew that there was lying and theft and that there were some horrible people in the government. He just didn't know how many horrible people. He just didn't know the levels and levels and levels and depths of corruption and theft and how no one's doing anything about it. And this is a man running basically $1 trillion business that is pretty efficient in what he does, is looking at abomination. And he's just doing simple math as we do to budget to reconcile our monthly and yearly budgets in our home. He's looking at the federal government as a business, and he's thinking, this is simple, what has to be done, but no one will do it. Play this clip with Donald Trump, please, Caleb.
Provided the economy grows faster than the money supply, which means you stop the government overspending and the waste, and the output of real useful goods and services exceeds the increase in money supply, you have no inflation. And you also drop the interest payments that people pay. The reason the interest payments are so high is because the national debt keeps increasing. So the government is competing to sell debt with the private citizens. This drives up the interest rate. If you cut back on the deficit, you actually have an amazing situation for people, because you get rid of inflation and you drop the interest rates. And that means people's mortgage payments go down, their credit card payments go down, their car payments go down, their student loans go down. Their life becomes more affordable and their standard of living improves.
Did he say anything that's really incorrect? No. It's just economics 101. But then Elon Musk went for the jugular. And I don't know why he did this, because it's already been proven that Trump has nothing to do with Epstein. But can you pull this post up for the audience, Caleb? And this is what he says. Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Now, you can take that off the screen. Thanks, Caleb. You have people, many, many people that I have read and listened to, and we just interviewed Kim Yater, who believes the same thing. They think this is all kabuki theater and that they are just putting on a play. I don't know if I believe that. I could be wrong, and I hope I am wrong. I hope Elon Musk and Donald Trump are talking right now, laughing their asses off. and moving the needle. I just don't know. I don't believe in long game play. I don't. I don't think long game play has ever really worked, because the longer you play this out, the more stumbles and obstacles and pitfalls there are, instead of just going straight forward and no games and just get stuff done. It's like when I was in the Border Patrol, we would turn our cases over sometimes to a task force that was attached to ours, and they would do a longer investigation, meaning they wouldn't arrest a certain people. They would try to take down more load houses and more. And that was wonderful, great, blah blah blah. But my whole thought process was, who really cares? Just hit the load house filled with people, or hit the load house filled with narcotics, because you can go up the chain as much as you want. They'll just create a new chain. So it's not whack-a-mole in a way, but you just go and you hit these houses and you seize them. You seize everything in them, and you seize the actual property itself. And that's how you hurt them. And you do it instantly, you do it fast, and you do it over and over and over and over again. So when people start talking about the long game, we don't have time for a long game. We're less than 4 years now. We're almost at the 3.5-year mark. We're not even talking about 2028 midterms, but God only knows what's going to happen. We need to do something now. And now we're having this back and forth as Elon Musk now says, okay, I'll take a call from Donald Trump and we'll work this out privately. And Donald Trump just came back in typical Trump fashion and goes, yeah, I changed my mind. I really don't care to talk to him. And now the Democrats are fully on board with Elon. That shows you how duplicitous and how corrupt the Democrats are. This is going to go on, and this is going to be insane times. Things are going to get more insane. If I told you, as we're heading into the weekend, if I told you in 4 days, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who have a love affair and they work side by side and they've been working hand in glove for months now, are going to have a huge blow up and separation, and they're going to attack each other. Would you believe that? So what is going to happen in 4 to 5 days when I'm on the air on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I always say this to myself going into the weekend, what the hell am I going to talk about next week? I mean, something huge is going to happen. That's just Donald Trump. Something huge is going to happen. We have saboteurs and traitors in our government. Then we have a nationalist, isolationist type of person, more nationalist than anything else, Donald Trump, that's trying to secure America's sovereignty and America's bounty. These are two massive trains on the same track going straight at each other. Something is going to happen. It's going to be massive. So we have to be prepared. We talked about Bella Grace. We talk about Pet Club 24/7. We talk about Patriots Made. But one thing to be physically ready, and we talk about this every week, we talk about it every day. But on Fridays, I bring in Chris from sat123.com. And we talk about being physically prepared for these things that we're talking about, the head-on train collision. Do you think there's not going to be any reverberation outside of D.C.? Of course, we feel it immediately in America when there's loggerheads in D.C. Let's bring in Chris. As I see some palm trees in the back, it's going to make me. It's already lighting my fuse, Chris. I can see the white caps breaking off of your right shoulder, Chris. This is really making me angry as I sit in landlocked Kansas. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, JJ. In fact, this is a video background. I'm not actually in Belize.
Look.
Beach hotel. But I thought you'd get a kick out of it.
Oh, I feel better. I could have. It looks so real. I'm like, that dirty SOB is. Look at that beautiful water behind him. No, you got me. Hey, this is perfect. This is, and I say this all the time, never trust anything, right? Everything is kabuki theater in the world, and you're playing right into it with the beautiful background. Amazing. These are crazy times, Chris. Do you feel this way that I do, or am I kind of like in my own little bubble, or do you see that the world events and the events in the UK and the events in America are happening at such a rapid pace that it's hard to know what's real and what's not? Do you feel that way?
Oh, I'm 100% with you on this one, JJ. I mean, we have all kinds of tinderboxes around the world, from Russia to Ukraine to China. We see it on the news every single day. And what's going on in DC right now, to me, is worrying, because it's a distraction from the real issue, which is our national security. We have a lot of people out there who hate us, a lot of people working every single day in China, Iran, North Korea, and so on, to try and take down this country. And they are doing that electronically in one way, by attacking our infrastructure, by attacking our private companies, or even private citizens, stealing data, and so on. And we've seen what can happen in Europe. Just a few weeks back, when they took out the entire country of Spain, they took out their entire grid, and that left them in the dark, literally unable to do anything, any transactions. All flights were grounded, all trains were stopped. And parts of Portugal as well. And that can absolutely happen here. And I think we need to keep our eye on the ball. But you're right. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or even this afternoon. But what we can do is we can be prepared. And that means being independent. I know a lot of your audience is, off grid. They're preppers. They're prepared for many things with extra food, water, ammunition, and so on. But if you don't have an independent means of communication, you're going to be in the dark. And that's why satellite phones are so important. And JJ, another thing I want to point out is that at sat123.com, whilst other people are raising prices around the country, we are not. We're sticking to our guns. We want to make sure that as many people as possible are prepared with sat phones. So we still have the free satellite phone with activation from just $95 a month. But the satellite phone is something that's going to cost you $1,000 to $2,000 anywhere else in the world. But not with us. It's free with activation. And we're also keeping the free bulletproof backpack when you activate. And JJ, on top of that, if that's not good enough, if you call in at 941-841-0844, that's 941-841-0844 to place your order, we're going to give you the opportunity to get 10% off your airtime bill. And whether you want to just pay the standard for the first couple of months, or you want to pay for up to a year, we're going to take 10% of that bill and cut it off for you, just to try and make it easy. Because I know that there are a lot of people struggling around the country, and we want to make sure that we're not a cause of any of that.
I think that's amazing, because I was just on the website this morning. I was on last night looking at some products that I wanted to purchase. And I was like, wow, these prices are staying the same. Let me give my audience an example. I went to I won't say the name, but I went to a submarine sandwich shop. I got my son and myself a sandwich. It was $42. $42. It's almost as if, Chris, prices have almost doubled overnight. Like, because I go to this place quite often, and usually it's in the 20s. And then when they said 42, I even said to the cashier, I think that you rang me up wrong. No, sir, I'm sorry that prices have increased. And I'm like, what, by like 40%? Like, I was here last week. But it's crazy. So I applaud your company for staying true to their prices. And I know it just comes a time where the price is going to have to go up. But I do find that Donald Trump will correct this in the economy. But prices don't normally go down as fast as they go up. So thank you very much. I think your company is incredible. I think everyone should go to sat123.com just to look at the product itself. And finally, and one of my pitches for you and your company, Chris, is when I call you, I'm not going to Bangladesh. I'm staying in America with an English speaker on customer service that's going to help me. So that alone makes me want to go to your company.
Well, I appreciate that, JJ. We want to keep our money in as much as we can in this country and help with unemployment by employing as many people as we can right here. And they do a great job, JJ. They really do. And they're open, and we're open 24/7. So look, if you have a problem with your phone or your account or any other product or service you buy from us, you can call us anytime. You're going to get live answered. We don't have phone trees where you press 1, 2, 3 for whatever and you sit and hold for hours. We live answer because we know if you're calling us, it could be a life or death situation. And I think we're the only company that does that in the country. But we want to make sure that we give you the best support, not just during the time when we're selling you the equipment, but ongoing afterwards and for as long as you're a customer.
Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show again every Friday to talk to us about the products from sat123.com. And I pray that you get to that sunny, beautiful beach very soon, because I know you and I are landlocked in Colorado and Kansas, and that looks like paradise, because it is paradise. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it, my friend.
Cheers, mate.
sat123.com/JJ or the number on my line. Chris is a great guy. Man, doesn't that ocean and that beach look absolutely amazing? Wow. Would love to go back. I lived in California for almost 2.5 decades, and it was spectacular. To go back now, no thank you. No thank you. It was absolutely beautiful at one time, and great people there. But things have changed, as everything has changed in the world. As I head into the weekend, I want to play a video that Dan Bongino actually put on X, and he says on his X, he posted it, and he said, bookmark this. Bookmark this. I'm a big Dan Bongino fan. I have some questions, but I give him a lot of grace because I know that there's corruption in federal government, law enforcement, and the FBI in particular. However, I can't fathom right now how deep it is, and now he is inside of it, seeing it, and trying to wade through the cesspool of corruption. But let's listen to what he said to Bookmark on X yesterday.
Let me ask you about, are you going to be looking into, Cash and Pam, any potential collusion between the DOJ, Letitia James, the novel legal theory of Alvin Bragg, or Nathan Wade, or Fani Willis and the DOJ? Is that something? Has anything come up? Is there any way to determine whether or not evidence was destroyed in any of these cases?
Well, there's always a way to determine that. I don't want to comment on that specific case right now for a reason. I don't want to get ahead of the Department of Justice on that. But I want to say this. You know, the FBI obviously has the public corruption portfolio. And yes, if you are a corrupt politician out there, if you are engaged in behavior, you know what you're doing, we're going to find you. I promise. No one is going to get off. The days of selecting and putting your partisan bias on and taking care of your friends, those days are over. You know what, Sean? I don't have any friends. I don't want any friends. Well, maybe outside of you and a couple of, I don't care. I didn't come here for the money. I didn't come here to make, I know.
No, you didn't go there for the money. I can tell people that for sure.
No, I didn't come here to make friends. I don't give a damn about friends. I don't have any friends. I don't want any friends. I got my wife, I got you, and I got a small crew of people. So I don't need any friends. But if you're
want
a
friend in
politician,
D.C., get a dog. We're
coming for you.
That'll help.
Yeah, exactly. You want a friend in D.C., right? Go get a Labradoodle like I have, because there are no friends in D.C. You've been doing this, 30 years? There are no friends here.
He said bookmark this on his X account. Bookmark it. Why? Why should we bookmark that, Dan Bongino? Because he's alluding to massive arrest of massive players. And I keep coming back to the same question. Where are the arrests? I don't want to hear any more Fox News interviews. I don't want to see Jim Jordan in his T-shirt, his shirt collar rolled up and sleeves rolled up and his collar undone with his, because he's showing us he's a working man. He's a working man. No, I just want some arrest. We're going into the weekend. Another week has passed by, and no one has been arrested. To me, it just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. I don't want to hear about the long game. I don't want to hear about they're getting all the ducks in a row, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want the long form investigation. I want arrest now, because we have traitors in our government, and we have to set the tone, and the tone should have been set day one, not day 200. Day one. Where are all the arrests? Period. Where are they?
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries,
research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of